right, good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Bloom, and today we'll be discussing a recent operation from last week. And with us, we'll have some of those folks that were involved in the prosecution of the case and in the investigation of the case. We'll have Sheriff Billy Woods. Also, our Florida Attorney General, James Uthmeier, is here today, and our State Attorney, Bill Gladson, will be speaking. And we will have some time afterwards to answer a few questions, and we'll have a media packet for each one of you. So at the end of this, you'll have access to all of the booking photos, the arrest affidavits, and videos, and more. So, but again, at the end, we'll have a few questions that we'll have time for once we're done. These are always bittersweet. Sweet in the fact that we're getting these criminals off the streets, protecting children, and a lot of hard work goes into that, but always still disturbing because this even exists in our society. We're going to keep doing this, and the sheriff, I know, will reinforce that and let you know that. But this short 6-day operation, and you're seeing some of the folks that were arrested, we could do this every single day and make arrests every single day. So at this time, I'm going to introduce our Sheriff, Billy Woods.
All right, first I'll start. I know it's unusual. Y'all have heard me say this before, is I want to say thank you to you. You do play a big part. Now, majority of the time you get it wrong. You mislead sometimes in what you put out there, but the fact is you being here to be able to send a message for such heinous crimes that we have out here, I want to say thank you, okay? Regardless of what my opinion is of the media, but the fact is these cameras that are in front of me, allows me to be able to talk to a lot of parents. And we're about to talk about an operation that these are the operations that you truly do not want to be successful. You don't. You know, it's on both ends of the spectrum. Because of the hard work that goes into these type of operations, to see, well, success is not really the right word, but then being able to catch the amount in which they do the hard work and producing it. But then on the other end of that is that what these crimes are, you do not want to occur. Because I tell people, and when I talk all the time, I tell people the only profession on this planet that you truly do not want to work is us in law enforcement. Because when we're working, that means there's bad people out there. We're having to address the evil of the human being in this world every single day. And this operation is at the top of the ladder of the worst operations that you really do not like working. Now this operation, it's seek and ye shall find out. And trust me, they found out about what was occurring. But before I get into that, I want to say thank you for General Uthmeier being here, Representative Grow, Ashley Moody's staff being here, and our state attorney, Bill Gladson, for being here as well. And all the partners, you know, the Ocala Police Department, Lake City, FHP assisted, Bill's office assisted, Homeland Security, FDLE, Polk County. And yes, I'll give Grady a little credit here, okay, guys? I'll give Grady a little credit. He did send me a little bit of help, but his people were here as well, and Port Orange Police Department. These operations are so large that it requires a collaboration of all these offices being put together. These resources have to come together because they wouldn't be successful like they are. Now, I want to point out something that a lot of your viewers and a lot of people don't realize. Because they don't think that when they think of law enforcement, they only see one thing. They see a uniform. They don't see the human beings that are standing behind me right now. Now, these detectives, the good majority of them, their fathers, their mothers, they're no different than you or anyone else on this planet. And to see and have to deal with these things, I am proud of them every single day for the work that they do. They go above and beyond. And when you see and read these cases, you'll go, how can they watch, hear, or even tolerate that? These detectives, my detectives, and the detectives around this nation that conduct these operations, they're dedicated. Dedicated individuals. Bill Gladson's office is dedicated. General Uthmeier's office is dedicated to ensuring that we put these individuals behind bars, that we ensure that we keep them behind bars. Because you're going to find out in a couple of them, and I've talked to you before about individuals that we'll have in these operations that have committed these crimes within 2 days from being released. They're doing the exact same crime. One of the biggest things in this press conference is a message to the parents that are watching. The parents that are watching, you need to pay attention to your children. Now, you'll see in all of the affidavits or even in the reports, you're going to see the amount of apps that are out there on the internet that gives them access. The criminals gives the criminals access to your children. To put it in perspective, these vile individuals right here, these vile individuals, they showed up with condoms, cocaine, alcohol, and many other drugs for a child. Now keep in mind, this was targeting 13 to 15-year-old children. 13 to 15-year-old children. The operation itself is where I just said it, they pose as 13 and 15-year-old children. They go on numerous social media platforms. Every one of them, let me be this clear, every single one of them, and this is to the viewers that are out there, that I know the post will come, all right? They'll come up with their comments. They'll have some sympathy for them. I have zero sympathy for them. Every one of them knew that they were making an arrangement to meet with a child, not an adult, a child. They sent disgusting text, photos, videos. It's all in there to do harm to a child. But here's a bigger message to parents. Look at the pictures. You see some in pink, and you see some in blue. Pink represents the ones that were wanting to meet a female, and the ones in blue were the ones wanting to meet a male. So the parents out there that have only boys, do not think and do not believe that your sons are not victims in these cases. Do not think that they're not vulnerable for this to occur to. Doesn't matter. I'll say it again, and I'll consent to be clear. I am always grateful for the cooperation of every agency. My goal is to make it clear that we do not, Marion County and the 5th Judicial Circuit, and truthfully, in the entire state of Florida, as I'm pretty sure as the General is going to make abundantly clear, we do not tolerate this crime. My citizens demand it, and as their sheriff, I will ensure that I will use every resource to hunt these pieces of shit down. So I'm going to hit on a hot topic. All right? The non-U.S. citizens that are in here. 7 of them. Now let me make something clear because, again, you in your lovely way have the way to distorting information of how we do and target things. Now, one, we didn't have a clue that they were U.S. citizens when we started the app with them. But let's also be abundantly clear, every single one of them told us where they were born or where they're not here or they are not a U.S. citizen. 1 from Mexico, 1 from El Salvador, 1 from Jamaica, 2 from India, and another one from Dubai. Now, the before I get to them, this is the PCs of every one of them. Probable cause affidavits. So let me give you a little insight. This individual, 57-year-old, wanted to meet a 15-year-old boy. You know what his response when these handsome fellas met him? My wife is going to be very upset and family. Well, I hope they are. And here's a message to his wife. I hope she gave him the finger and told him to get the hell out of the house. If she needs me to come to her house and pack his shit, I will send a ton of deputies there to get him out of there for her. And I hope she's watching and I hope she's listening, because my heart goes to her and her family. This one, 50-minute drive to meet with a child. 50 minutes. This one lives in Gainesville, was willing to pay for the service, brought 7 unopened condoms with him. This 35-year-old, another one from Gainesville, I think the next one is from Gainesville as well, too. I see a pattern. So let me ensure of you something here. You, the ones in Gainesville, my friend, my fellow sheriff, I promise you that Sheriff Chad Scott is going to know your name. And I'm going to assure that he has you at the top of his list. This one offered to pay $50 or even bought party favors. Here's one. 31 grams of cocaine, 9.5 grams of crack cocaine, 20 grams of meth, 18.5 grams of marijuana for the child. Oh, look at there, surprising. Gainesville. This one drove all the way from Orlando and then said after having sex, we'll get to go shopping. Here's what's infuriating, and I know it's on his radar. This individual admitted, disclosed to my detectives, has already had multiple contacts, sexual contacts with juvenile boys, and in the past with a 9-year-old. 9-year-old. My opinion and my opinion only. And the general and the state attorney can say what they want, but I'm here to tell you, this piece of shit has no right to walk this earth. I think it should be capital offense for that. And here's a sad one. This one probably, for a split second, broke my heart. Retired first sergeant of the Army. He's a contractor for the Department of the Army right now. That breaks my heart. I can keep going through every one of them. 40 of them. 40 individuals. Within less than the first 24 hours, nine. Within 24 hours was arrested. So you want to know why we want these individuals out here that are not U.S. citizens? Why are we doing what we're doing in the state of Florida? Because the state of Florida is a cut above anybody. Because of leadership like General Uthmeier, the governor, our legislators, representatives, like here. They say we will not tolerate who in the world in their right mind would think it is okay for these individuals to be in the United States? Which brings me to this. One of them who was here, a student at the University of Florida, here on a visa. On a visa. Now here's my plea to Secretary Rubio, and I'm pretty sure, because I've got friends in the Secretary Rubio's office, that he's aware of this, ensuring that this visa gets revoked. But that night, a moron at the University of Florida said, no, we're not going to revoke his visa. It'd be okay until he comes back, until the trial is done. What person in your right mind, regardless of policy that you have in place, do you think it is okay to keep an individual in this, not only in this county, but in this state, in the United States, you think it is okay to leave an individual that does this type of crime. I don't give a crap what other countries want. I don't give a crap what other countries do. What I do care is about the citizens of not only my county, but of this state and of the United States. Now, luckily, the higher-ups in UF felt a little pressure. Could have been General Uthmeier, could have been myself for today. As far as I've been updated, they've kind of stepped up the plate. But here's a clear message to the rest of their employees. And to that employee, now I may not have your name in front of me right now, but you better pray to God you're not a Marion County citizen. Because I will do everything to ensure that I could get your ass out of my county. We will not tolerate it. These crimes are unexcusable. And these men and women that did the investigation, they dot the I's, they cross the T's. And like I told you, the majority of them are fathers and their mothers. And any of y'all, anyone out there that opposes anything that I've said, you're just as guilty as them. Now, I'm going to stop for now because I want to give General Uthmeier the platform, and all yours, General.
As a father of 3 little ones, today's a pretty gut-wrenching day to look at these 40-plus heinous people and the crimes they committed. As Attorney General, today's a monumental announcement. It's an announcement that only can take place because of the many law enforcement agencies that work together, due to the heroism of the investigators that went to great lengths to find these guys and make sure they arrested them. And I'll tell you what, in this area, you're blessed. You've got an outstanding sheriff. You've got a terrific state attorney. It's very clear by the comments that were just made. This is a rule of law, tough on crime jurisdiction. Doesn't seem like there are many plea deals in this jurisdiction. That's a good thing, especially on this stuff. I know the state attorney here is going to be doing the Lord's work to make sure that these people go away for absolutely as long as possible. And then those that shouldn't have even been in this country, they'll go back where they came from after they've served their time. But to go after young kids, there is no defense, there is no justification, there is no excuse. It will not happen, it cannot happen in Florida, and we will work every day to make sure that we are getting every single one of these guys off the streets. When I took the oath of office 6 months ago, I told my team going after child predators is priority 1. And we've got about 1,000 priorities, but it is priority 1, probably 1 through 100. We've got to keep our streets safe. We've got to make this a safe place to raise a family. And parents, I've got to warn you at home, you are the first line of defense, and if you do not know what your kids are doing online, you got to figure it out. You've got to have the tough conversations to figure out if your teenagers should be using the internet in the first place. I understand those conversations can get tense, but if they're going to use it, you better know what they're doing, and you better be monitoring their behavior. And if you're not, then you're going to be just as guilty as some of these guys when something bad happens. So parents need to wake up. You need to plug into what your kids are doing online, because that is the tool of the devil right now. We're seeing technology used more and more every single day as people try to solicit and pursue and prey upon our kids. So for every day I'm Attorney General, we're going to be working minute by minute to capture as many of these guys as possible. We'll be working with our state law enforcement up and down the state. Florida's got the best state law enforcement in the country, and we'll be working to support our state attorneys however necessary to tie these guys up 6 ways to Sunday for as long as we can. I want to conclude by saying some of the leads happened on Snapchat. This is a platform that our office has sued on behalf of the state. We believe Snapchat is violating Florida law and is unduly exposing our kids to serious harm. Parents at home, as a reminder, if you don't know, I didn't know, the nature of Snapchat is the pictures, the videos, and things that disappear right away. Makes it harder for law enforcement to track bad behavior, and it makes it a preferred outlet for for sex offenders to go after kids. So if your kids are on Snapchat, you better look into the settings. You better make sure that nobody that's not in a network that you approve can communicate with your kids. So we'll be going after Snapchat in court. We're going to be going after them with everything we've got. We will be aggressive, and I believe we will hold them accountable. So with that, I want to thank the sheriff for having me. State attorney, I got your back, whatever you need, and we'll be fighting the good fight every day. Thank you.
Thank you, General Uthmeier. Now I will turn it over to our State Attorney, Bill Gladson.
Thank you, Sheriff. Once upon a time, I was a kid living in a neighborhood. Like many of you in your neighborhood growing up, you had boundaries, whether they were streets you weren't allowed to cross or houses that you were supposed to stay away from or whatever it might be. But your parents and your family and your neighborhood had rules. Today with cell phones, if you're not, to piggyback off of something the General said, if you're not watching your kids and you're not making sure that they are being safe, they're essentially inviting people from around the world into the neighborhood that used to be a safe space. Worse yet, they're inviting them into their homes. And as a parent, you can be in your home while your child is talking to one of these predators and being groomed. And that should horrify everybody. So I want to thank the Sheriff's Office and the deputies that worked on this operation, because it's the largest one I've ever seen, 40 people picked up. And I've done a lot of these, and I've never seen this size of a catch. And frankly, that's 40 people that will not be able to prey on victims for the rest of the time that at least I can try to put them in prison. So that's fewer victims, that's less generational trauma that they would cause on future victims. So I just want to thank the Sheriff's Office again for that. And I want to thank the General for his comments. Knowing that the Attorney General of the state of Florida has law enforcement's back and is working. He actually had prosecutors from the Office of Statewide Prosecutor in this operation, and that says a lot about his commitment to the people of the state of Florida. So I'm going to leave with just telling everybody we will do the best we can to put these people in prison, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gladson. So, you heard it abundantly clear. We won't tolerate it. The best AG and the best state attorney. And when you got a team like that and us, you're screwed, literally. All right, I'll open up the floor for questions.
How many were non-U.S. citizens?
7.
And then how many, so Snapchat was Snapchat the main one, or what was Facebook?
There were several. Snapchat, listen, there was platforms I never even heard of, and it's like, where in the world did these people think of this crap? So, can you got some of them off the top of your head?
Yes, sir. We used social media platforms. A lot of the details we don't want to get into to reveal. I'm sorry. To reveal some of our investigative leads, we don't want to release too much of what we're using for platforms. But we're using social media. We're using dating apps. We're using things like Snapchat. A wide array of different platforms to attract a bunch of different offenders.
Would you give us your name, please?
Sergeant John Lytle.
Spell that for me.
Lighttle.
Anyone else?
Can we switch? I have a couple questions for the AG. This is just regarding everything going on with the ICE agreement. You just released a statement. Are you hopeful Orange County commissioners will reverse course and sign the modified 287G agreement with ICE, just like the City Commission in Key West just did? Have you put them on notice?
I certainly hope they come around. The law requires it. Law was passed in February. It's pretty clear. It says that, local governments have to exercise best efforts to support ICE in carrying out its federal immigration enforcement duties. So if ICE and the sheriffs are requesting that correctional officers in Orange County help to transfer detainees to ICE custody, then you better bet they've got an obligation to do it. So I know the mayor said some, disparaging things about me. That's all fine and good. My response is look at the law. The law is what it is. We got a duty to enforce it. That's our job.
He said he called you a bully. Your response to just that, him calling you a bully, and also you called Orange County a sanctuary county. What makes Orange County a sanctuary county, and what is the county doing to violate state law?
I would point you to the sanctuary jurisdictions legislation in Florida statute. That legislation says that any local government effort to impede law enforcement's ability to assist the federal government in immigration enforcement is per se a sanctuary jurisdiction. So based on their own admissions, I believe they're violating Florida law, and if it makes me a bully to, ask them to follow the law, then so be it.
Attorney General, what's your reaction to Mayor Deming saying today, if they did do these transports, they, one, need more resources, and two, they would need more reimbursement? And do you have a message for any possible consequences if they don't agree to these transports at all?
Well, I think the law has some pretty strict consequences, including removal in it, if it comes to that. If there are some, prohibitive resource constraints, and those would need to be laid out. But it seemed like the county just decided they weren't going to do this. There wasn't a whole lot of explanation or justification. So, again, I hope they come around. I certainly think they have the ability to help transfer some detainees over to ICE upon the request of ICE and the sheriffs. But I'll say here, we're talking about child predators, disgusting things that are happening to kids, over 40 child predators getting arrested, and you guys want to keep talking about some of these local government fights. I'm happy to do it, but I think today is a monumental announcement and really should be the topic of the day.
One other question, though, is Orange County allowed to negotiate the rate for federal government reimbursements for transporting detainees without breaking state law?
So we have an immigration enforcement board at the state level. That was part of the legislation that was passed in February. There's money set aside for reimbursements. Those discussions are certainly allowed to happen. But at the end of the day, the city's got an obligation, the county's got an obligation.
Do you plan on having a conversation with Mayor Demings then about the possibilities moving forward of how you can come together on this?
If it comes to saving lives and protecting our cities and our counties, I will have a conversation with absolutely anybody, anywhere. Look, you got 7 individuals here, people that are going to have ICE detainers if they don't already. Would the mayor just assume we're not going to hand these guys over to ICE? These disgusting, disgusting predators? We don't have the ability to hand these guys over. What would the mayor say to that? These are people that preyed upon kids, brought cocaine, brought condoms, wanted to do heinous things to kids. And we're just going to say, oh, we don't have the ability to help? No, that is wrong. That is wrong, and I reject it.
Do you know in Orange County, the last time Orange County tried to renegotiate the cost of reimbursing with federal government?
I do not.
Should you mind?
Yeah, please.
So, you for real on that question?
Yeah.
All right. Obviously, this is your first time before me. This classifies into the category of a dumbass question, all right? And here's why. You want to play with money with people's lives, okay? And that type of a question is offensive to me because regardless of what government entity, as far as I'm concerned, any sheriff or any police chief that refuses to help ICE, you're basically refusing to help a fellow law enforcement officer. Unless they're doing something illegal, immoral, unethical, you help them. If Ocala PD asks for my help, a deputy's coming. If Lake County asks for help, my deputies are coming. ICE is doing their job. So let's also get something abundantly clear. Illegals. Holy hell. Do you have to look up the definition of it in a dictionary? I don't. Wrongdoing. They came here because they did something wrong. Oh, that's at the top of my list of a citizen I want added into this country. Let me add more bad people that want to do wrong.
So in your opinion, is Operation Seek and Find Out right?
Is it what?
Is Operation Seek and Find Out right?
Is it right?
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah, it's right. It's the right thing to do. To seek out and find these individuals that do wrong in my county. And to answer yours, we always talked. And I'm sorry, General, but
Nobody said they needed anything. Anybody could pick up the phone at any time and say, hey, we want to help, but we're struggling. Could you help us with this or that? Absolutely, we would. Didn't happen.
Listen, law enforcement, here's the one thing we've learned. We're going to put a square peg into a round hole when somebody needs help. That's what's going to happen. We all have personnel problems. We all have personnel shortage. Hell, the state of Florida is growing so fast, none of us in law enforcement can keep up with this growth. It's an impossibility. But what I will not do is I will not use it as an excuse, a reason, or a justification to put a bad guy or get people that want to do wrong in this country away. It's as simple as that. And as an American, as a sheriff, I find it offensive. Because every one of us sheriffs in this state have sent a clear message. He's right, the governor's right, legislation is right. And we're here to ensure that we accomplish that mission. As simple as that. That'll be all the questions, so thank you.
As I said, you will be receiving a media packet there being emailed to you now that will contain all this information, all of the booking information, photos, videos, and more.